Yeah, hi.
Oh, hi, Sai.
Hi, Nadim. How are you?
Fine. How are you?
I'm great, sir. Thank you very much for accepting my invitation and accepting to be on
My
my show.
pleasure.
So I've gone through a profile. I can see you're doing a lot of work. So I thought to tell about your work to my audience.
Thank you very much for having me.
Sure. So can you please introduce yourself to my audience?
I can't hear you. What did you say?
Can you please introduce yourself to my audience?
Okay. My name is Father Nadim Nassar. I'm the executive director of the Awareness Foundation, and I'm originally from Syria, but I live in London.
So Awareness Foundation, what does it do?
Awareness Foundation, last year we celebrated our 20th anniversary, and uh, we build bridges between East and West, and also we support the Christian presence in the Middle East. As you know, for the last 20 years, the number of Christians in the Middle East is dropping and dropping dramatically. Uh, there is a lot of immigration, a lot of young people leaving the region, unfortunately. So we try to support them. We have programs. We are an educational foundation, and we support young people and children in war zones like Syria, Iraq. We have consultants in Lebanon, in Jordan, mainly in the Middle East. And also we build bridges between East and West because I do believe after living so many years in the West, there is a huge ignorance about from both sides. Although we are in the age of internet science, we are in the age of communication, but unfortunately the ignorance is huge. Until now, people ask me when I became Christian, coming from the Middle East, because they don't believe that still there are Christians there. So, and they forget that Christ was born in the Middle East, and Christianity was born in the Middle East, and Syria was 600 years Christian before even Islam started, before the Prophet even was born. So still, we there is Christianity in the West is a Western phenomenon, and it's a Western religion, and they have they believe in the West that Christianity only is the hub of Christianity is there. It's here, but it's not.
So you as a director of Awareness Foundation, how is that experience?
Um, it has been interesting and up and down because as a priest, we are not trained to be directors of foundations, institutions. Unfortunately, this is a loophole in the theological training we have. That when we are trained, I've never had a course in finance, for example. I never had a course in management. So when you, as a priest, when you get to be a director of a foundation or institution, you feel, what does it mean? What does it involve? And you start learning as you go. And this is exactly what happened to me because I didn't know what it involved until I was surrounded with people who supported me. So the best way is to um, look out for people who could support you, who could take your hand in the beginning and say, this is how you do it, and this is the best way, and you do it, and you fall, and you stand up again. Um, it's not easy. But after 20 years, it's been a wonderful experience. 20 years, I never thought we could make it to our 20th anniversary, but we did. And we have a royal patron, and we have different religious patrons. We have a board of trustees. We are registered in the United States, and all of that we value very much, and we take nothing for granted. And we hope that we can support desperate young people and very, very, very desperate children and families in the Middle East.
Before talking more about your work, I just want to say about my sponsor for this chat.
Please go ahead.
Yeah. So it's Start Adam. Sales and customer facing teams switch between several communication tools, causing time management and visibility issues that can slow down deal velocity. The solution, Start Adam, where conversation converts. With Start Adam, your team can centralize all communications within your chat tool. No more switching, waiting, or fragmented chats, because chat messaging is where business gets done. Sales teams can stay in Slack or Microsoft Teams and connect with customers, leads, or candidates on their existing chat tool, building better relationships through constant communication in inbound or outbound messaging. Make it encrypted and compliant. Plus, bring all communications into your CRM or ticketing system. No data entry required. Join Start Adam to enhance customer relationships and close deals at hyper speed with unified chat. Thank you very much again, Nadim, for your presence.
Thank you.
So, you said you are mostly helping the desperate youngsters and children. So, tell me more about it.
Well, because of war, a lot of young people have lost a lot. They have lost their homes, lost members of their families. They have lost their livelihoods, works, and plus they don't want to fight. Most of the young people, they found themselves in the middle of war that they did not choose, they didn't want. So the best way is to leave. So they throw themselves in those death boats in the Mediterranean Sea. I'm sure you heard about that. And they try to leave the Middle East in any way and in every way they possible, and they can. And that is the tragedy at the moment in the Middle East concerning young people. And also there is bleeding of minds and brains from the Middle East, because nobody wants to stay. They want to leave. They want to find better life somewhere else, wherever. They became so desperate that they threw themselves to death in the sea with unsafe boats, and some of them died. Some of them reached somewhere, Greece or Europe or whatever. And that is tragic in the Middle East. And it's still happening, even today.
So, last year you have celebrated the 20th anniversary of Awareness Foundation. So, in this 20 years of experience as a director and being a volunteer for this service, so what is the change that happened because of Awareness Foundation in the world?
We could give hope to hopeless young people. We could train them to be positive, even when they leave the Middle East, because not all of them remained. So we train them, we empower them to be a force for good, and our program for the young people called Ambassadors for Peace. So what does it mean? It means to be a peace builder, a peacemaker, even within your family, even within your neighborhood, even in your university, in your work. It doesn't mean that, of course, we encourage them to stay in Syria, to stay in Iraq. But even if they leave with positive attitude. They leave believing that they can do something in their lives. Their lives are not empty. They are not in despair anymore. And also for children, we use their own talents. You know, Sai, in war, families don't have the time and the energy and the resources to explore the gifts of their people, of their children. So when we met those children, they didn't know what they are good at. They didn't know what they like. I remember one child was staring at a corner we prepared for painting. And I went to him and I said, "Do you like painting?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Have you painted before?" He said, "No." I said, "Have you ever drawn on a paper?" He said, "No." "Have you ever dealt with any colors?" He said, "No." I said, "Why do you stare at the painting?" He said, "I don't know." So I took him to the corner. I sat him and gave him brushes and colors and papers. And I said, "Go ahead." And he looked at me as if I was crazy. He never ever thought he would find those tools in his hands. And he sat down for 8 hours painting, non-stop. And at the end, every hour I went and checked on him. And he didn't want to eat, he didn't want to drink, he didn't want to play. He wanted to paint. That's all. And at the end, I looked at his paintings. Amazing, incredible. And when I found a painting, he painted 3 suns. The sun. And I said, "Sweetheart, why do you paint 3 suns in a painting? There is only one sun here." And he looked at me, he said, "Father, when we escaped home, we escaped during the night. And we used to walk during the night and hide during the day from ISIS. And I didn't see the sun. Because of that, I painted 3 suns." I looked at him, I said, what kind of future would this child have with such pain in him? So we try to make those children explore their trauma. They are all traumatized. And we support them mentally, spiritually, psychologically, socially, in order to have as normal as possible life and with their families, with their friends. It's not easy. It's very, very difficult to work in war zones.
So what is your driving force? What is making you to work and what is pushing you to do the service that you're doing?
You know, I believe very much what Christ came to do is to give us a better life. He said, "I came that you may have life and have it abundantly." And an abundant life, I cannot live it on my own. I have to live it with a group, with a community. And through my faith and through the power of God in those young people and in those children, I am extremely motivated. Every day I open my eyes, I wake up grateful that God chose me to do this ministry, because to touch the hearts and the minds and the lives of a young man or a young woman or a child is an enormous privilege, an enormous honor, because you are touching the creation of God. It's incredible to inspire, to be able to inspire a young man or a young woman or a child to do something creative or to build their lives again. We have seen young people turning their lives 180 degrees because of the Awareness Foundation. It is absolutely incredible. And we saw amazing things happening. I myself, I lived in a war. I studied during the civil war in Lebanon. 6 years, 7 years of my life I spent during the civil war in Lebanon in the 80s. I know what it means to live in a civil war. I know now what the people of Gaza are going through. Destruction, bloodshed, hopelessness, darkness. I went through it. 7 years in Beirut during the shelling and shooting and destruction and bloodshed. And I know how it felt. I know how difficult it was. I know how desperate you get. And you become on the verge of losing your humanity. But you have to go on. You have to continue.
And tell me about your team, how you work.
We are only 4 in the team. We work very hard. Nobody believes that the Awareness Foundation is only 4, but we have an army of volunteers, from the patrons to the trustees to the friends to the supporters to everybody around us that support. Without them, we would not have had the possibility or the opportunity to do our work at all. We are so grateful to so many volunteers in Syria, in Iraq, in Lebanon, here in America, in Canada, in Hong Kong. We have even friends in Hong Kong. They are amazing. They are wonderful. Without them, we couldn't have done anything. We are a small team because I believe that the overhead should be down and the work should be to maximize the work of the foundation rather than to pay money for staff. But we have been blessed with so many wonderful friends and supporters, and especially also the royal family and our royal patron, the Countess of the Duchess of Edinburgh. She has been fantastic to us.
Yeah. So my next question is, what made you to start Awareness Foundation before 20 years? And uh, after 20 years, what did you achieve? And if you look back the day that you started it, how was that comparing to today?
When we started, the 9/11 attacks in New York was new. The attack happened 2001, and we started 2003. It was a response to the world turning into thinking about religion. What does it mean? Does religion still have a place in our world? And especially when the 9/11 attacks were linked to Islam as a religion, which was a horrible link. So, and me coming from the Middle East and being always asked about my faith, and I felt there is an enormous ignorance between East and West. Despite the advance in technology, the East-West relations were not good. And as a minority, numerical minority in the Middle East, as a Syrian, the Christianity goes back to St. Paul, to Jesus Christ. That old Christianity is in Syria. But here, they don't know that. Enormous ignorance, enormous looking at me as I was coming from Mars. So that made me ask the question: how can I help? How can I teach? I'm a teacher by nature. I love to teach. So I started teaching with a bishop, an Anglican bishop, and then we started building on that teaching, and people were very interested in what we were teaching. And so that grew into a vision of establishing something bigger than one single church. And that's when we thought of the Awareness Foundation, and we took delegations and trips to the Middle East, and we brought representatives of different churches from the Middle East to the West to talk about Christianity in the Middle East. We did a lot of exchange, roundtable discussions, lectures, you name it, because we are an educational foundation. So until we reached to a stage to establish a course, an educational course for the Awareness Foundation. It was the Awareness Course. And we ran the Awareness Course with hundreds of churches. And then the war in Syria started, and the war in Iraq got worse. And so we focused on supporting and empowering young people and children in the war zones in the Middle East. And this is how we maneuvered, if you like, our ways in 20 years. And we have been enormously blessed to touch thousands of lives on our way. And here we touched also thousands of lives with our activities in the West. I travel to America every year. I go to Canada. I used to go to Hong Kong before COVID. And now we are continuing to our programs in the Middle East. I know the situation is absolutely horrible. The situation in Syria, although we don't hear on the news much about Syria, but the situation is terrible. Economically, militarily, there is still shelling and shooting, and the country is divided. Iraq is also in a bad shape. Lebanon is in a very bad shape, and especially now with the tension with Israel on the border. And unfortunately, the problem in the Middle East that many external powers are fighting in the Middle East. So it's a proxy war, like the United States, like Russia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Europe, United Kingdom. Everybody is fighting through other people inside the Middle East, and that's what makes the situation even more complicated and more hostile. So if I look back now, we have been blessed, but I'm very, very sad that the Awareness Foundation is still needed. We shouldn't have been needed, because the situation in 20 years should have got better. But actually, politically, the situation deteriorated. And if we look now at the Middle East, it's a mess. It's a complete mess. Look at Yemen, look at Libya. War is spreading, and now they are trying only to contain the war which started in Gaza. Violence is horrible, but unfortunately, the economy of our world is based on violence, not based on peace. I know it's a big statement, but unfortunately, this is the truth. The warlords have the upper hand, not the peacemakers.
So awareness foundation means building peace through education.
Yes.
So what kind of education?
Education through exploring the gifts and the talents of the people, through supporting them spiritually, mentally, psychologically. Training, we give them training in different subjects. We mentor them. It's a mentoring programs that we have for the children and for the young people. It's a continuous work with them. We build their personality, their faith, their strength, because when you are in war, you are depleted. You have no energy more. You don't believe in anything. You blame everything, everybody. You blame God, you blame the governments, you blame the world, you blame yourself, you blame everybody. So you are in a hole, in a abyss, in a black hole. And what we do is building peace in a way of pulling those people up and trying to tell them there is something beyond the black hole that you feel you are in. Look beyond the black hole. It's not easy at all to empower someone who has lost everything. And especially after the earthquake. I'm sure you heard about the earthquake last year in February, the 6th of February. In my hometown, Latakia, and in another town, Aleppo, in Syria, 15,000 people died. On the top of war, 12 years of war, came the earthquake. And the vulnerable communities were destroyed even more through the earthquake. So we had to respond to those communities and young people and children and families after the earthquake in an additional help, because that was horrible.
So tell me about Little Heroes in Awareness Foundation.
Little Heroes is our program for the children. We consider them little heroes, and they are. But those little heroes are in trauma. And what we do is we engage with them. We try to explore their gifts, their talents, whether, as I told you the story, painting, writing, technology, sport, music, whatever their gifts are. We try to encourage them to explore those gifts, to be confident in what they like. Because in a time of violence around you, you don't think about what you are good at. You want to survive. It's a game of survival. And what we do is we step in and we take them a little bit further than surviving, to be creative, to do something for themselves. And we see how children react. Incredible when you see the children playing again after being depressed and traumatized, and you are able to make them play, enjoy their lives, enjoy their time again. It's amazing. And when you see that, you think it's worth it. It's really worth it. So they are indeed little heroes, and we see them like this.
So what is Pioneers program?
Pioneers program is a brand new program. We need funding for it because it covers the age between Little Heroes and Ambassadors for Peace. Little Heroes is between 6 and 12, and Ambassadors for Peace is between 18 and 35. So we have a very sensitive age between 13 and 17, the puberty, the adolescence. So every time they see me, they say, what about us? We are too old for Little Heroes and we are too young for Ambassadors for Peace. I promise them to develop a program specially for them. And actually, this age is my specialty. So we, with educators, with specialists, we developed a special program. We call them pioneers or awareness pioneers for that age between 13 and 17 to encourage them, to train them, to empower them. But we haven't started yet.
And Ambassadors for Peace
is the young people program between 18 and 35, also to help them in their trauma, to build them up, to encourage them to explore their gifts, their abilities, if they have projects, support them in their projects, let them build networking possibilities and resources, that they network with each other, support each other, support their little communities around them through whatever projects, whatever initiatives they can do. It's a very important program for our young people there.
So tell me about your charity in United States.
We have we are registered as a charity in America. It's called Awareness Foundation for Hope and Peace, and I go there and I teach and I preach and I talk about our work in the Middle East and our work with young people and children, and we are active in different states, but mainly New York. We are active in Detroit. We are active in Chicago. We are active in California. So we try to raise our profile, to widen our network. And the same in Canada.
So the Awareness Foundation worldwide.
Yes, we are an international foundation because we have this international board of trustees. The chairman is Canadian, and we have a chair in America, and all the boards work together to support the work here in London. And from London, we go to the Middle East and the countries that are in need.
So how many students? It can be children or it can be the young age people. So how many students totally got benefited from Awareness Foundation?
In total, I have very bad memory, but in numbers, but thousands of children we supported in so many ways, thousands, and also thousands of young people also, because we don't support them and move. No, we support them and we keep following up with them, what they have done, what they are doing, and if they need any more support, all the way. So we have touched thousands of people.
And
but on our website, there are numbers.
Okay. So how does Awareness Foundation work?
It works. We have an office. Unfortunately, we had to close the office in London, in central London, during COVID. But my office is in the garden of my house. During COVID, we built this timber, as you see, room. So the Awareness Foundation is now here where I live. Maybe in the near future, we will find back a space in central London. And we are a small team, as I told you. We are 3 here and 1 in Syria. And we support each other as much as possible technologically. And we go to the Middle East. I go 3-4 times, and then I go to America with our friends, supporters, and volunteers. The role of the volunteers is very, very important in the life of the foundation. Without them, we wouldn't have done anything. The volunteers are amazing, especially there in Syria, in Iraq. We have a network of fantastic educators, psychologists, clergy, all the resources we need.
And what are your objectives?
Objectives is to reach to more young people there and to be able to encourage them to stay, to be active there, to build their communities there. But of course, war by nature pushes young people away, because young people are vulnerable to recruiting, to be soldiers. In Syria, there is a huge problem of child soldiering, which nobody talks about. Young people are very vulnerable to carrying weapons and fighting. We don't want that.
So, what is your goal? Where do you want to reach?
I want to reach. I want to widen the work of the Awareness Foundation. I want to include, for example, more Lebanon. I want to include more regions in Syria. I want to go back to Iraq, because since COVID, we have not been back to Iraq. So our goal is to spread especially in the suffering parts of the Middle East, touching more lives, supporting more young people, being able to help more children to go out of their traumas and to be positive. They live how children should live, to experience their childhood again, which is not easy, and support a little bit their families if we can. So it depends all on funding. Charities have difficult time because they fundraise all the time. And we are a charity. We live on funding, on fundraising.
Okay. So, as a father, as a director, as a founder of Awareness Foundation, how satisfied you are, and what kind of satisfaction that you get helping children, youngsters, thousands of people, making them get good education and understand the values and morals and ethics.
On one hand, I'm very proud of what the foundation has achieved in 20 years. And looking back, wow, we have done so much. On the other hand, of course, I'm not satisfied, because I want more, because the need is huge, Sai. When you see the people die every day, the people are lost every day, young people are leaving the Middle East, children in desperate need, you feel, I wish we could have done a little bit more. I wish we could do this year a little bit more. But it's not, for example, now I can't go to the Middle East. I was supposed to go in November. I couldn't go. December, I couldn't go. Now we are in January. So sometimes the situation, the violence there, prevents us from going there and doing our work, our ministry. we have to accept that because the situation is very volatile there at the moment. But we hope that this year also we go back a couple of times and we continue our programs. Our volunteers there are working with children, continuing the work, but we need to be there from time to time.
So at last, what do you say to the people who are watching this video from anywhere on this planet about Awareness Foundation?
I would like to say, don't lose hope. We have seen how giving hope to hopeless people can do. It's a huge power. Don't think if you lose something, this is the end of the road. Look at the next step. Look at what you can do, not what you cannot do. If we look at the Middle East in general, you think, what am I doing? I can't do anything. It's horrible. Bloodshed, destruction. Those people are absolutely stupid. They are killing each other. There is, what am I doing? But no, you take a deep breath and you see what you can do. A little step by little step by little step. If you join them, it will be a journey. When I look at the journey of the Awareness Foundation, it's unbelievable, but all divided into little steps. We don't want to make giant steps and fail. We want to do small steps and succeed. And I say to everyone, look at the places of war. Every single human being on earth should be an ambassador for peace. We are doing an Ambassador for Peace program in London this year. We did it in Hong Kong. It was an amazing day. 3 days of training and engaging with young people about how to solve our problems peacefully, without violence, without reverting immediately to aggression. Peace building starts from having peace in me, and then having peace with my neighbor, with my family, with my co-workers, with my neighbors. So peace building and peacemaking is a continuous task that every single human being on earth has the responsibility to do. No one, wherever you are, on an island or in a big city or in a farm, wherever, you are a peace builder, a peacemaker with the creation, with the nature, with the people, with everything. So we have all this responsibility.
And especially to the leaders, the business owners, the individuals who are making things happen, what do you say to them?
I say look for small charities. Don't always think that big work is done only by big charities and multi-billion dollars organizations. No, some small charities are doing fantastic work, and sometimes we underestimate the work of small charities, but they are enormous, and the Awareness Foundation is one of them. Support us as much as you can in anything you can, and see how our work flourishes. We have flourished 20 years because of the support of businesses, support of institutions, churches, schools, individuals. Without them, we wouldn't have survived.
Great. So I'll put your web link in the description of this video, also on the screen as well. People who finds our video anywhere in the internet and the social media or on my YouTube channel who are listening to this on the podcast, they can able to understand what Awareness Foundation is and what does it do and how it is working and what is the objectives, everything.
Thank you very much, Sai, for having me, for your guest. You are doing a wonderful thing with those interviews. I looked at some. Thank you for. I myself we have something called awareness dialogue. Sometimes you should be my guest too, and then I get to know you better, because we have we have a channel called PAX on YouTube, and we put from time to time videos there, and we produce videos. And even Her Royal Highness was one of my guests, and some really fantastic guests in Arabic, but subtitled in English or in English. And you are most welcome to be one of my guests. And thank you very much. What you're doing is fantastic.
It's an honor. Thank you very much for your invitation, and definitely, I want to be part of what you're doing, and
Thank you.
help you
Thank you,
in
Sai.
what you're doing. And what is that's my question as a founder, as a director, as a person who is doing service and seeing a lot of lives, trying to help in developing their skill set, and trying to help them in understanding their talent from their young age. What is your observation about my work? You have seen my work, and me talking with different experts, different countries, leaders.
I think, Sai, media is very important these days. Dialogue, conversations, we learn so much. So your dialogue with so many people, open in front of us a wide opportunity to learn. How do we learn? Today's world is based on technology, media, social media, and all this. And without listening to so many people, being exposed to so many opinions, different opinions, we don't grow. So you are offering a fantastic windows. Every video is a window to a world of that person you are interviewing, and that world teaches me a lot. So imagine for every video, you are opening a window to this world. It's amazing. It's fantastic. I'm sure you're enjoying those wonderful guests more than anyone, to listen to them and to engage with them. Fantastic. Well done.
And you are one of it.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm honored. Thank you so much,
And
Sai.
I
Where
did.
are you based?
I'm from South India, Hyderabad city.
Hyderabad.
South, yeah, India, South India.
Yeah, South India. Yes, yes. Well,
So
I wish
I
you all
did.
the best.
Yeah, sure. And I did a master's in software engineering, also bachelor's in computer science and engineering. So right now I'm working for a UK company as a DevOps engineer remotely from India. So, and also I'm working for a US company. So that is my full-time job as a DevOps engineer, as a software developer. So apart from that, I'm trying to connect with different experts who are into different professions and who are into different parts of the world for doing different kind of service, who are helping the world to be a better place and trying to create peace like you, and solving different problems, looking world in a different way. Everybody's intention is to make world better and make
Absolutely.
world great. So me trying to explore all these kind of mindsets from everywhere, who are from uh, from young age to 70, 80 years old, me talking and trying to explore and what they are doing, trying to put in my son and what I'm going to learn and how this is going to be helpful for my career and my future.
That's wonderful. I wish you every blessing, and thank you for trying to make our world a better place. Thank you so much. God bless
How
you.
this is going to be beneficial for me, this kind of an experience exposure.
That's wonderful. You know, it gives you a lot of exposure, and I'm sure your guests have enjoyed talking to you, and they bring their network to watch those videos. I don't know how many followers you have, but I'm sure you are quite popular.
Yeah, I have 40,000 followers.
You see, that's great. Every blessing,
So
Sai.
thank you very much, sir. Can I put
Thank.
this video on my YouTube channel with your permission?
Yes, please, of course.
And also, can I put this audio and video clip on my podcast, website, internet, social media, everywhere with your permission?
Yes, please. You have my permission, and I will, when I see it, I will share it.
That's a very big thing. Thank you very much again, Nazir, for doing
Thank you,
great
Sai.
work and making people uh, 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 to help them in development and also creating
And
a peace in the world.
you are a peacemaker, by the way, in your own way. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Again, take care.
God bless you.
Bye. Start Adam. Sales and customer facing teams switch between several communication tools, causing time management and visibility issues that can slow down deal velocity. The solution, Start Adam, where conversation converts. With Start Adam, your team can centralize all communications within your chat tool, no more switching, waiting, or fragmented chats, because chat messaging is where business gets done. Sales teams can stay in Slack or Microsoft Teams and connect with customers, leads, or candidates on their existing chat tool, building better relationships through constant communication in inbound or outbound messaging. Make it encrypted and compliant. Plus, bring all communications into your CRM or ticketing system. No data entry required. Join Start Adam to enhance customer relationships and close deals at hyper speed with unified chat.